Hello everyone, welcome to Red Duchess Farm. I'm Mark, and this morning, actually it's getting close to noon, I'm out here by the tub that's got the sweet potatoes and the sugar cane in it. This morning I've put down fertilizer and tilled the two smaller garden areas. The one is for vining crops, and I've got to get some squash and that sort of thing out. I've got Cherokee tan pumpkins from deep south that need to go on the ground, and so got the fertilizer down, got that all tilled in, and so I've got a spot that I need to plant sweet potatoes. So I thought we'd see about getting some draws off of these sweet potatoes. And I've planted sweet potatoes for several years, but I would say that what I know about sweet potatoes comes mostly from Danny at Deep South Homestead. And so let's see if we can get some draws off of these sweet potatoes, and we'll get some sweet potatoes planted this afternoon. I don't know how well you can see here. We've got lots and lots of sweet potatoes here and lots of roots. So let's see what happens here. There's the first draw, got lots of roots on it. And what we want to do is take a lot of these leaves off. Just leave some of these up here on the top. And then we want to take a knife and this really orange tip out here that pulled off of the sweet potato, we want to cut that off. As they say, that spreads disease. So there's our first sweet potato draw of the year. Got a bucket of water back here to throw it in to keep it from wilting down, and we'll get some more of these sweet potato slips and bring you back when we get ready to get started planting. I was shooting for 100 slips to start with and wound up with 94. Maybe half a dozen of those a little questionable in the amount of root that's on them. But there's the tub now, after I've kind of cleaned up what I left, and see what comes back. And then there's the pile of leaves from stripping them down and getting them ready. And there are the cuttings in the bucket. So it's time to go to the garden, and I don't have a stick like Danny uses, and it wouldn't work well in our clay dirt anyway, so we'll have to dig holes and get these in the ground. We are out here at the garden, and the little garden. You can see the other gardens here. Got the first row of the string, and there are 23 holes there. They're approximately 1.5 feet apart. If you'll notice, this 2 years ago was in tomatoes, and we used 5-gallon buckets and put about 6 inches of compost from down the city of Paducah makes on around these tomatoes. And this didn't plant anything on it last year, and then this year I worked it up. And if you'll look at the soil there and wading in it here and the tracks versus the color of this soil here and the difference in the texture, it would be nice to be able to put that compost on the entire garden. So now we need to get these sweet potatoes planted. There should be 4 rows of them. And this garden, as I've said in previous videos, was the original garden, and it was put down here because of its proximity to this pond. I think we finally got enough electric wire and pipe and everything gathered up to lay water lines and electric lines up to all the barns, past all these gardens, and then run electric back down here so we can run an electric pump instead of running the gas-powered pump. Let me cross over this fence real quick, and we'll go over here and get this pump ready to start. So here's our gas-powered kicker pump. This property does not have a well on it. The house functions off of a cistern with gutters on the pole barn up there. So for watering all of the animals and watering gardens, we use the ponds. So let me get this pump started so we can put some water in the holes for these sweet potatoes and get these sweet potatoes planted. About 3.5 rows of sweet potatoes planted. There's 22 to 24 plants in a row. The last row over there that's not a full row has got 15 in it. And we'll see if we get more slips later on. Now I'm going to go up to the greenhouse and see what else I can find to plant. So this is something I've never grown before. This is a brown cotton. And I don't know how well it transplants. I started the seed in the greenhouse and then transplanted it out here. And then there are 2 rows of red Zeppelin long-keeping onions that I grew from seed. I thought there would be 2 rows of them and then 2 rows of Walla Wallas that I've got yet to plant. And if we look over here on the 4-wheeler, it looks like it's going to be more like 3 rows and 3 rows. There's the tray of red Zeppelins that I've planted 2 rows off of, and there's pretty close to another row there, I would say. And then here's a tray of Walla Wallas that are yet to be planted. And the last thing that I planted today was 6 hills of Cherokee tan pumpkins from Danny and Wanda at Deep South. Just relaxing here on the front porch for a few minutes. Been another busy day in the garden, and probably boring you guys to death with garden videos, but that seems to be about the only thing going on right now. Jamie's planting flowers in the flower beds, and I'm planting stuff in the garden, and still got a lot more garden to plant. I know it's getting late, but I think we still have plenty of time on a lot of things. So hope you'll join us again here on the farm. Have a great day from Red Duchess Farm. It's a Golden Vickery privet bush sitting just off the side of the house out on the south side near the screened-in porch. And I don't know if you can see and hear the honeybees that are working this. And the bumblebees. And got a butterfly up here.